Randy Rain here. Got another robot to fix, and you're gonna like this one because this one's the Kung Fu Bot. So let's get chopping. This is
Randy's Robot Refurbish.
That's right. I've got the Kung Fu Bot from P-Toy, and I got this one off eBay. Someone said that they bought it in the box and it worked perfectly, and they broke it. And so I said, hey, that's perfect for me. Now this one is very similar to the CrackBot from Tomy, which I kind of think it might be a copy of some sort. I don't know, it's very, very similar. They broke it themselves. I don't know what they were trying to do, but yes, he's pretty broken. So let's get started. This is kind of neat, so you're gonna like this one. Even though it's basically falling apart right now, I'm still going to take it apart like it's supposed to because I have to fix all this. It has 4 screws back here in the back. It has the swinging arms pretty much exactly like the Tomy Bot has. It has this little piece which is pretty close to how the Tomy Bot works. Except this one has some lights. I'm going to go ahead and take the lights off just because it'll be easier to work with. Let's see what happens. You can see those gears in there spinning, but they don't seem to be working like they're supposed to be. Go ahead and take this gearbox off as well. One of the problems is this gear right here, even though it's not split, it just pops right off. I don't see any split on this thing. And this is the gears that I've been replacing, but this one is good. It just doesn't stick on there. Let's keep going. One metal gear, one long metal gear, and then you have these 2 gears. This one operates this piece here. I'll get to that in a minute. The other one is pushing this switch together, so there's a switch here. But down here, you have this double gear system here that kind of works like the Saturn Bot that I have does. These 2 gears ride on this long gear right here. This little gear has this shark fin here, and it has this little slot, and these are not the same gears. There's like one extra tooth in one of these gears. So as it spins, as they both spin, they don't spin at the same rate. So eventually that shark fin right there will separate these 2 as it spins around, and then eventually it drops back down, keeps spinning, and then pulls back up, drops back down. And that's the different changing of the different phases of the robot. It's a little spring loaded right here. And so you can see here how this works. So as this one turns, which is being turned by the motor, when it's in this position, this gear is turning this one, which activates the head and the body movement. And these are the double gears. Eventually that little shark fin is going to get around, and when it does, it moves this one down because it's spring loaded. And then it activates this one, which is the one that activates the lights here, the light switch. So I guess the first thing to do is get this gear on the motor working. And I have that exact same gear. So I want to replace it. It's a lot tighter. This is a lot of the problem here, is this shouldn't be spinning. It's supposed to be connected. I'm going to try making some burrs on this thing. Rough it up a little bit. I'm going to put some burrs up here as well. And try again. Okay, now that's a lot stronger now. Put this back. That goes in there with the spring up. Hey, that seems to work now. One moves, then the other one activates. You can see the action there. Now on this piece, there's these gears here and this bar, and you have these pegs, and there's a peg on either side. I don't know what that's about, but there's only seems to be one gear that goes there, and then this thing fits in like so, and so as it turns, moves that gear like that. So this piece goes just like this, and this peg has to go in that slot. And now these screws can go back in. There's another small screw that goes back here. So now when it gets turned on, and then there's this piece that goes here. That should be right. So when you can see the hole in the slot here, this thing should be straight. So when the motor spins it all the way in that direction, and the pin is farthest to the right here, this thing is pointing that way. And then when it's pointed all the way that way, it's that direction. Now, even though this wire right here is black, this is actually positive. And there's two parts to this switch. There's two pieces of metal right here. And when they get smashed together by this thing, it's completing the circuit. So the positive is going to one side of these two pieces of metal. When they get smashed together, it's going to the lights. And then the other side of the lights is going to ground, which is over here. And it is black correctly, but this is actually positive. So I'm going to put that back to the switch. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. It's pretty much nothing. It's just a couple of lights, but I want to go ahead and take it apart and show what's inside of it, just to clarify. There it goes. Two of these light bulbs going to each eye. See how these lights work? Well, that's good. They all seem to work. go ahead and put his head back together. Right here and right here is obviously broken off. So more than likely, I don't actually know because they came to me broken. I would imagine it's a tab sticking out here and a tab sticking out here. Those tabs go into either side here. And what happens is when it's together, this is supposed to go down, set in there, and snap into place. And it no longer snaps in. And that's why it was falling apart before. Now there's no way I can create new tabs here that will stay and will last longer than 5 seconds. So my solution is going to be a set screw because there's plenty of room in here that it's not going to be hitting anything. So to do this set screw, I need to line everything up. This needs to be going right down the center of this. That means it's going to be in the center of its action. So this would be set in there so it is pointing straight. And so the screw is going to go in the center this way. So the head has to go on. So I should be able to drill this hole. Hold it in place like that and drill right through here. Now I'm going to use a little bit bigger drill bit. Make this hole a little bigger. This would go straight like that. This would go in. And I should be able to take a screw, place it in there. Go ahead and put a set screw on the back as well. I have a good feeling this could get broken. Now have a look at it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and solder everything back. These wires go to ground. These wires go to the switch. Give it a test. This light goes in here. These arms need to get put into place first. Right, these little pegs right here go into that. Go like so. This back side has the same spot for these little pegs. And it snaps into place. I like that. Now the 4 screws go back in. Go ahead and put the wheels back. The rubber is really good on these, no problems. This gets put in there. And come on, snap, snap, like that. So I need to make a little peg for the battery compartment. I have a piece of clay here, and I'm going to form that little peg. Now I need to clean this with some regular alcohol. Put that back into place. Now I'm just going to take CA glue and drop it in there. Use some accelerator. I'm going to clip away the excess and smooth it out again. because it's going to start cracking on you. Get rid of any excess. Hit it with the accelerator. And carve it down with an X-Acto knife. And finish it off with sandpaper. Now I'm going to hit it with some super fine steel wool. Now I'm going to take Brasso, because it has a super fine grit in it, and go to town on the plastic that I kind of dulled up. Clean it up with alcohol. I'm just going to use a Sharpie to finish off the job. So that's how you fix that. Well, there you have it. Proof that robots are just like mankind. You have your maids, you have your dingbat cousin, you have your annoying niece who thinks she should be on American Idol, you have your crack-smoking uncle, you've had sexist bots, and now we have racist bots. But hey, stay tuned. I have pets, I have narcs, and I have whatever the hell this thing is. But here it is, the Kung Fu bot. Are you ready to see him in action? Here he goes. Well, that is it. That is Kung Fu bot. And this was
Randy's Robot Refurbished.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.